Okay, so look at the Ironsight's beta at 21:9. This was a massive surprise. That's the best way to describe this. For the most part, I hate free-to-play games. The pay-to-win element, requiring grinding and general lack of polish, means I see no reason to play them when I have the AAA alternatives available, but somehow this game has grabbed me. It's got my attention and has taken up all my free time for the last few days. My initial crazy praise for the game has waned with time as rough edges have shown up, but that hasn't stopped my final opinion from being very positive. Anyway, first, before my thoughts on the game, let's cover the 21:9 support. Well, if there's one way to get your game the best possible opinion from me, it's to support ultra-wide users as well as Ironsight does. There is essentially flawless 21:9 support. Gameplay correctly shows off more on the sides of the screen at all moments, with no stretching or zooming or 21:9 specific pop-in issues. There is also a lovely FOV slider that reaches 90, and you will certainly get the FOV to suit your view. I've been using 80. The HUD scales to the sides of the screen and screen effects stretch to cover the entirety of the screen. It would be nice for them not to be stretched, but you won't really notice a stretch due to never focusing on the blood splatters. Finally, both main and in-game menus and loading screens all use the entire screen space as well. Performance-wise, graphically, Ironsight isn't insane. It's gone for the Counter-Strike kind of graphics rather than the hyper-realistic like Battlefield graphics. This means it runs very well on most systems. On a GTX 1080 Ti at 3440 by 1440 on highest everything settings, I could smash my screen's max 95 FPS at all moments. This is down though not just to graphical fidelity limits, but optimization. The devs have done a very good job here. I never experienced any FPS hitching or slowdowns, which is lovely. There are also a good number of graphic settings as well to tweak in order to maintain that high FPS, which you'll need to do well in this. One performance issue I did run into a number of times was connection ping levels. Unfortunately, the game only shows you a bar chart of connection quality instead of the actual ping number, so you have no idea what the real connection is like, but I'm sure they're actually counting pings that are a bit high as green, or good, ping numbers, which isn't great, because at times I certainly had some slight lag-related issues with rubber banding, and frequently two of us would manage to kill each other at the same time, something that rarely ever happens on a good ping. That said, it's still totally playable, it's just not perfect yet. The only graphical issue I did run into a lot was object pop-in. Running around, you'll frequently see small objects like details on walls popping in as you get closer. It's never anything large, but it's something you wouldn't expect to see on ultra settings. General PC support wise, there is clearly a lot of attention to making sure this makes the users feel comfortable and able to get their preferred play preference, with settings across the board to allow full customization of all your controls, with fully rebindable keys, etc. No faults here. So gameplay. Clearly I've been enjoying my time with this game, and without doubt I haven't had my fill yet. I can still see myself playing this for some time to come. There is something about it that has hooked me. Yes, it isn't some brand new genre or filled with gameplay that pushes the boat out in ways that we haven't seen before, but regardless, it's damn fun. It's obviously a first-person shooter much akin to COD or CSGO in the fact that it's based in small, tight maps with the typical game modes, team deathmatch, S&D, point capture modes, very standard stuff. There are a wide range of weapon types from assault rifles to snipers to SMGs, however you won't find any shotguns, and this is likely because they would potentially be too powerful in these maps, requiring quite a bit of balancing, but then again I'm surprised that they aren't featured. You can customize every weapon with a load of different attachments, and there are lots of variants of each different weapon to choose from, and the same applies for character cosmetic customization. There is a lot here to unlock. This is no surprise though, because this is a free-to-play title and they need to make their money back somehow. So now is probably the best time to talk about the balance of grinding versus spending money. Is it pay to win? And amazingly, no. It does take a bit of playing to get enough credits to unlock new weapons and attachments, etc., but not really any longer than you would need to play for games like COD. You aren't going to be stuck with one thing and feel that you're stuck in a loop grinding the same weapon just to unlock one new piece of equipment, and I really appreciate that. It's very well balanced in this respect as far as I can tell. Now the other question is, can spending money give you an unfair advantage? And again, no, I'd say with my time with this, I can't say it's possible to spend money that gets you access to stuff that would put you in a superior position. It really does try to keep everyone on a level field and force skill to be the dominating reason for death or success. Now things aren't perfect in my view. Two small tweaks I personally think should be altered are time to kill and health regeneration speed. So health regen takes a long time. It's definitely slower than something like COD, which means that you're overly vulnerable to single shot death. This means that you're either forced to camp and sit and wait, which is no fun when it's supposed to be a fast-paced game, or you attempt to win firefights, but you're unlikely to survive because of the time to kill issue. It takes a lot of bullets to kill in this. I was always very aware that I needed to be pumping a lot of bullets into a full health enemy if I was going to drop them. Now, certainly the argument can be made that getting headshots significantly reduces the time to kill, but what I found was it's rare that you're ever going to win a 2-on-1 gunfight because you have to spend so long pointing at one enemy before you can shoot the other. And again, because of the fact that it takes so long to reheal after a fight, you actually frequently will struggle to down an enemy if you're on very low health because they can turn around and get a shot off on you, and you may usually win that gunfight if you had health and the element of surprise, but just because they can spray and you have so little health and they have so much, it just doesn't feel quite balanced. Add into the mix that sniper rifles are essentially one-shot kills above the waist, and you have another difficulty to deal with. Snipers really can be overpowered at times, with it possible for an enemy to start shooting you with an assault rifle, but you have enough health to aim whilst being hit and shoot them and kill them before they're able to down you, because it takes so long for a normal weapon to kill someone. Okay, yes, so this may sound worse than it really is, but it certainly felt prevalent enough for me to want to talk about it. It's not game breaking, but it does feel like a little balancing could be beneficial. The beta has been impressively full of people, so I never struggled to find a game to play. Sadly, you have only the choice of a rotation of random game modes. Yes, I know you can select which ones you want to start with, but that only applies to the first game you join. After that, it rotates to whatever other map and whatever other game mode. Which did mean I had to play a load of games on the area control mode, which wasn't really my cup of tea. But yeah, I'm sure in the final game you get to choose what game mode to play, and you can just stick with it. Also, I love the quick turnaround of games. None of the usual faffing around with animations and loading screens, etc. It just shot you straight into the next round and next game. Really love that. By the way, a little tip I kept forgetting about, each class has its own score streak, so if you switch a class mid-game, you'll lose the progression to your next score streak and go to 0. Really frustrating, just remember to use those score streaks before you switch class. All in all, I really like this game, and it will definitely see more playtime from me going forward. It's not perfect, and it's pretty standard in many respects. We do have a lot of first-person shooters out there, but I think this manages to make itself stand out from the crowd enough, and for that, it gets a recommendation from me. Of course, on top of all this, it gets a WAF score of 5, which, well, that's just some lovely icing on the cake. So I hope that gives you some information how the game runs at 21x9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21x9, head over to my channel, the WAF website. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to support the channel, the links to my Patreon page are in the description and Amazon affiliate links are there too. See you later.